Hello and welcome. In this video, we will compare two global powers, Japan and the United States, from different perspectives. From their geography to the differences in their economic structures, from their education systems to their military power, we will examine the strengths and weaknesses of both countries and give them points and see which country will be the winner. If you're ready, let's get started. First category: geography and natural resources. Let's start with the United States. As the fourth largest country in the world with an area of approximately 9.8 million square kilometers, the United States of America is characterized by its geographical diversity. The country is characterized by tropical and Mediterranean climates from Florida to California. Offers a wide range of climates, from the cold tundra climate of Alaska. This climate diversity allows for the development of different ecosystems, while also contributing to the fact that it is located in a geography with very rich natural resources. The U.S. has great potential in terms of energy resources such as oil, natural gas, coal, and uranium, and continues to be a major player in the world economy. In addition, fertile agricultural areas and the Mississippi River, one of the largest rivers, reinforce the country's strength in agricultural production. This region is a major producer of basic agricultural products such as corn, soybeans, and wheat, as well as livestock. It is also unique in terms of natural environmental richness. UNESCO World Heritage Sites such as Yellowstone National Park and the Grand Canyon contribute to the preservation of the country's natural heritage. However, the United States is also one of the world's largest producers of carbon emissions, which means that it bears a great responsibility for environmental issues and sustainability at the global level. And overall, while the U.S.'s natural resources and environmental heritage underpin the country's economic strength, future energy and environmental policies are of paramount importance, given their impact on the environment. In our Geography and Natural Resources category, we rate the U.S. 9 out of 10. Now it's Japan's turn. With an area of approximately 377,975 square kilometers, Japan is one of Asia's most interesting and rich in natural beauty. A large part of the country is covered with mountains, and the proportion of mountainous land is over 70%. Japan's climate is temperate and humid under monsoon influence, which creates great diversity in terms of agriculture and vegetation. In terms of natural resources, Japan lacks energy resources such as oil and natural gas, and meets its energy needs largely through imports. However, it is quite successful in environmental sustainability. The country has achieved a significant success in this area by using its marine resources effectively. It also stands out with its environmentally friendly technologies and recycling systems. Japan's natural riches are fascinating not only for its geography, but also for the unique landscapes it offers. Mount Fuji is a volcanic mountain that has become a symbol of Japan and is the highest mountain in the country, attracting tourists from all over the world. Onsen hot springs are famous for their hot springs and relaxing properties. Coral reefs also reveal marine biodiversity and underwater riches. However, Japan's geographical location is also associated with frequent earthquakes and tsunamis. These natural disasters have allowed Japan to continuously renew and strengthen its construction and infrastructure systems and provide safe living spaces for its people. Japan has developed resilience to environmental threats, using advanced technology and engineering solutions to meet these natural challenges. As a result, Japan occupies a unique position in the world, with natural beauty, climate, environmental achievements, and many geological challenges. In our Geography and Natural Resources category, our score for Japan is 6 out of 10. Second category, Population and Demography. United States of America. By 2024, the total population of the United States will reach approximately 331 million people. The population density is quite low at 36 people per square kilometer and is spread over its vast geography. The demographic structure of the country reflects a young population, with a median age of around 38 years, indicating a young average population age. With more than 1 million immigrants entering the country each year, the U.S. is the world's largest immigration destination. This high rate of immigration increases the country's ethnic diversity, creating a great cultural and economic wealth. The different cultures, labor force, innovative ideas, and different lifestyles that come with immigration make American society more dynamic and diversified. This ethnic diversity is an important factor, reinforcing the cultural influence and economic growth of the U.S. globally. As a result, in our Population and Demography category, the U.S. scores 8 out of 10 points. Japan is next. With a population of approximately 125 million people, Japan is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. The country's population density is quite high at 330 people per square kilometer. Japan's demographics are dominated by the elderly, with a median age of 49 and 28% of the population aged 65 and over. This, combined with a low birth rate, 1.3%, and a growing elderly population, points to a serious demographic crisis. Although the country's migration rates have remained low in recent years, there has been a slight flexing of immigration policies. Japan has a high level of cultural homogeneity, but there have been limited changes in immigrant admission in line with globalization and economic needs. Japan's aging population and new policies on immigration will significantly affect its social structure in the future. As a result, in our Population and Demography category, Japan scores 6 out of 10 points. Now we move on to the economy, a category where we can all predict the outcome. Here is the United States of America, by far the largest economy in the world. As of 2024, the United States is one of the world's largest economies, with a gross domestic product, GDP, of approximately $26 trillion, accounting for 24% of the world total. Per capita income is around $80,000. This high level of income can be explained by the country's strong economic infrastructure and its significant share of advanced industry and services sectors. The unemployment rate in the U.S. remains at a low level of 3.9%. This is an indication that the economy is on solid footing and the labor market is functioning effectively. The country's economic structure is largely shaped by the service sector, which accounts for 77% of GDP. The industrial sector ranks second with a share of 18%, while the agricultural sector contributes only 5%. America's foreign trade volume is also quite large. Exports are around $2.5 trillion, while imports are around $3.1 trillion. This trade deficit can be attributed to the country's strong consumption structure and external dependence. The technology, pharmaceuticals, and energy sectors are particularly prominent in exports and imports, and innovation and investments in these areas reinforce the global leadership of the U.S. economy. Technological developments, especially in the fields of artificial intelligence and digitalization, are important dynamics of economic growth. Overall, the economic structure of the United States is characterized by high incomes and low unemployment, based on a strong service sector. Continuing its role as the engine of the world economy, the country has a large share of global trade with its innovative approaches in the fields of technology, pharmaceuticals, and energy. As a result, the U.S., an undisputed economic superpower, scores 10 out of 10 points from us in the economy category. Now, it is the turn of Japan, which is seen as an economic superpower, although not as much as the United States. Although Japan is the world's third largest economy with a gross domestic product, GDP, of around 4.5 trillion US dollars, it faces some structural challenges. Per capita income is around 36,000 US dollars, albeit with high living standards. Economic growth has slowed in recent years, and the country is struggling with demographic challenges. While Japan's unemployment rate is low at only 2.6%, this could lead to problems in the long run related to a lack of youth and a rising retirement age. The sectoral structure of the Japanese economy is shaped by the service sector, which has the largest share of 69%. However, the industrial sector was 29%. The agricultural sector, with a share of only 2%, limits the country's economic diversification. The agricultural sector is a major economic burden due to both low productivity and an aging population. Moreover, while Japan's industrial sector is largely concentrated in high-tech areas such as robotics, electronics, and automotive, which can lead to challenges in innovation and sustainability. In terms of foreign trade, Japan has a large trade volume with 790 billion US dollars of exports and 720 billion US dollars of imports annually, but it has a highly dependent economy. This could create vulnerability to global economic fluctuations. As a world leader in the automotive, electronics, and robotics sectors, Japan is a critical supplier to global markets, but also faces risks due to factors such as shrinking foreign markets or trade wars. Despite Japan's high quality of life, the labor force is aging, the fertility rate is falling, and the population is aging rapidly. These demographic structural problems lead to a loss of productivity in the economy and an increase in public expenditures. Japan's economic growth potential is increasingly constrained by factors such as demographic challenges and labor shortages. In addition, Japan's public debt is one of the highest in the world, exceeding 250% of GDP. This high debt constrains economic growth as a large share of public expenditure is spent on interest on the debt, constraining economic growth and reducing the scope for future public spending. The high level of public debt creates additional burdens to cover rising Social Security expenditures, especially due to the aging population, making it difficult to formulate sustainable fiscal policies. In the long run, Japan's debt burden could limit the economy's capacity to grow and threaten financial stability. As a result, Japan scores 8 out of 10 points in our economy category. Our fourth category is political system and governance. United States of America. The United States is a country with one of the oldest democratic systems in the world, governed by a federal presidential system. The country, which has a historically strong track record of political stability, has faced increasing political polarization in recent years. As of 2023, it is in the full democracy category, scoring 8.36 on the Democracy Index. While this shows that the U.S. is performing strongly in terms of democratic values and institutions, political divisions within it sometimes pose challenges to governance and social peace. In international relations, the United States is a major global player, playing a leading role in critical international organizations such as NATO and the United Nations Security Council. Its effectiveness is reinforced by its contribution to peace, security, and economic stability around the world. Its strong presence in both the military and diplomatic spheres makes its influence in world politics sustainable. As a result, in our political system and governance category, the USA scores 8 points out of 10. Now it's Japan's turn. The country has a form of government based on a parliamentary monarchy. The Prime Minister is the person who holds executive power and is the head of government. This system favors long-term governments and low levels of political tensions. As of 2023, the country's democracy index was evaluated as 8.33, which indicates that the country is in the full democracy category. The political environment is reassuring thanks to sound democratic practices and stable governance. In international relations, the country is recognized as a regional power and plays an important role in diplomatic balances, especially in Asia. This diplomatic activity contributes to the country's regional power dynamics and increases its influence in global politics. As a result, in our political system and governance category, Japan gets 9 out of 10 from us. Our fifth category is education system, which is a very important category for the future of the whole world. United States of America. The United States is characterized by a high literacy rate of 99%, reflecting its success in education. The average duration of education in the country is 13.7 years, which shows how much importance students attach to their education life and that they have a long-term learning process. The U.S. reinforces its global leadership in education in international university rankings. In the QS and Times Higher Education rankings, 7 universities in the country are ranked in the top 10 in the world, highlighting the global superiority of the U.S. in higher education. However, inequalities in public schools across the country pose a major problem. These inequalities lead to inequality of opportunity among students and widen the quality gaps in education. This remains one of the biggest challenges facing America's education system. As a result, although the education system in the USA is very good in general, they need to work a little more on inequality of opportunity. For this reason, the USA scores 9 out of 10 in our education system category. Now let's move on to Japan. The literacy rate in the country is 99%, indicating that a large part of the society is educated. The average duration of education is 15.2 years, indicating that individuals' educational journeys are long and extensive. In international rankings, students ranked high in PISA tests in critical areas such as mathematics and science, indicating that the education system has achieved success in line with world standards. However, despite this success, the education system has been criticized for an environment of intense pressure and competition. The high expectations placed on students and exam-oriented approaches can lead to psychological and social problems in the long run. This can limit individual development and creativity, despite efforts to improve the quality of education. As a result, although Japan has a quality education system in general, the pressure on students and the competitive environment are among the problems that need to be solved, which is why Japan scores 8 out of 10 in our education system category. Our sixth category is health and quality of life. United States of America. Health expenditure accounts for 16% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP, one of the highest rates in the world. This high expenditure rate is due to the fact that the health system is largely based on the private sector. While the quality of services provided by the private health system is generally high, access to health services becomes costly for individuals without insurance coverage. By 2024, the country's life expectancy is set at 78 years, an important indicator of the overall quality of healthcare. However, financial barriers to access to healthcare remain for uninsured individuals, exacerbating health inequalities. This shows that the health system needs to be made more inclusive and accessible. As a result, the U.S. offers its citizens high-quality health care. For those without health insurance, the situation is not so good. This is why the U.S. scores 7 out of 10 in our Health and Quality of Life category. Now let's move on to Japan. Health expenditure accounts for 11% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP, indicating a significant investment in the health sector. This high expenditure ratio supports the efficiency and sustainability of the health system and ensures that citizens have easy access to quality health services. Life expectancy in the country is among the highest in the world at 84 years. This is an important indicator reflecting the quality of the health infrastructure and its success in protecting the health of the population. In addition, the universal health insurance system ensures that all individuals have access to health services and that everyone benefits from quality health services thanks to the inclusiveness and efficiency of the system. Together, these are the factors that underpin a country's health achievements and form an important building block for public health protection. As a result, in our Health and Quality of Life category, Japan scores 9 out of 10 points. Our 7th category is History and Cultural Heritage. United States of America. Declaring its independence in 1776, the United States of America has managed to create a major global impact in a short time despite its young history. It has become a world-shaping force in cultural fields such as modern art, music, and cinema. This influence is a reflection of America's dynamic and diverse culture. The cultural mosaic of different ethnic groups has enriched the country's social structure and inspired art, music, and cinema on a global scale. American culture has historically been shaped by the interaction of people from different ethnic backgrounds. This diversity has paved the way for creative forms of expression and set the stage for cultural revolutions that have reverberated around the world. These developments enabled America to go beyond being just a nation and become a cultural icon. In conclusion, despite its young history, the United States has managed to make a huge impact in a short time. This is why the USA scores 7 out of 10 in our History and Cultural Heritage category. Now, let's move on to Japan, one of the oldest and most beautiful cultures in the world, which is one of the first to come to mind when it comes to cultural heritage. Japan is a country with a deep cultural and historical heritage dating back more than 2,000 years. Samurai culture, with its discipline, honor, and warrior spirit, has left its mark on Japan's past and has survived for generations. Buddhist temples are important both for their architectural beauty and as symbols of Japan's spiritual richness. At the same time, Shinto beliefs form the cultural identity of the country, reflecting the Japanese people's respect for nature and their ancestors. Japan blends this historical heritage with the modern world in a unique way, has played a pioneering role in the technological and cultural field while keeping traditions alive. Both ancient buildings and modern urbanization offer an environment where traditional Japanese aesthetics meet contemporary touches. This balanced combination makes Japan a unique cultural mosaic, offering visitors a journey from the depths of history to the present day. Of course, Japan, this deep-rooted and magnificent culture that fascinates people, gets 10 out of 10 points from us in our History and Cultural Heritage category. Our 8th category is Technology and Innovation. United States of America. By 2023, R&D, research and development expenditures reached $711 billion globally, representing the highest R&D investments worldwide. These expenditures have been an important factor shaping global competition by accelerating developments in technology and innovation. In addition, the number of patents worldwide has exceeded 500,000. And this has led to unique innovations, especially in the fields of technology and engineering. While there are very large companies in this field, these companies lead the sector not only with high R&D expenditures, but also with continuously innovative products and services. These developments are laying the foundations for future technological transformation and playing an important role in shaping the world economy. As a result, the U.S. is almost the heart of technology. That's why it gets 10 out of 10 points from us in our technology and innovation category. Japan. In 2023, global R&D expenditures reached $186 billion, while the number of patents was recorded as 370,000. During this period, the robotics and automotive sectors have shown great leadership, and the strength of investments in innovation and technology has increased the number of companies that continue to lead in these areas. Thanks to advancing technologies and engineering solutions, these sectors have become one of the key drivers in the global economy. Especially with the rapid advancement of electric vehicles and autonomous driving technologies in automotive and the widespread use of industrial and service robots in robotics, R&D investments in these two sectors have increased even further. While strengthening global competitiveness, these developments also play a critical role in improving labor productivity, ensuring energy efficiency, and achieving sustainability goals. As a result, Japan scores 9 out of 10 in our technology and innovation category. Our 9th category is military power and security. Let's start with the United States of America, by far the world's greatest military power. As of 2023, the U.S. has the largest defense budget in the world, amounting to approximately $840 billion. This huge budget plays an important role in the country's global security strategies. Moreover, the U.S. stockpile of nuclear weapons is known to be 5,244 warheads, making it one of the countries in the world equipped with the largest arsenal of nuclear weapons. This strong military capacity is a critical element for ensuring U.S. national security and playing an effective role in global power dynamics. Defense spending and nuclear weapons are also among the determining factors in U.S. foreign policy decisions and international relations. In our military power and security category, the U.S. scores 10 out of 10. Japan. Japan has a defense budget of approximately $60 billion by 2023. This is a significant resource to meet the security needs of Japan, one of Asia's largest economies. But Japan's military power has been shaped by constitutional constraints, which are particularly important in a historical context. Under its constitution, adopted in 1947 and commonly known as the Peace Constitution, the country has the right to use its military force for defense purposes only. This constitution emphasizes that Japan should adopt a more cautious approach to foreign intervention and that its military should only be used to defend its own territory. These constitutional limitations impose certain restrictions on the expansion of Japan's military power and participation in international conflicts. In recent years, however, in order to develop a stronger defense strategy against regional security threats, the Japanese government has been discussing a reinterpretation of the Peace Constitution and a broader military capability. In our military power and security category, Japan scores 7 out of 10 points. Let's move on to our 10th and final category, social life and welfare. United States of America. Income inequality in the U.S. is high, with the Gini coefficient of 0.41 providing an important indicator of inequality. This reveals that the gap between the rich and the poor in society is wide. The poverty rate is around 12%, indicating that millions of people are struggling to meet their basic needs. On the other hand, on gender equality, the United States has a moderate level of achievement. Although there are still some obstacles to equal opportunities between women and men, progress in this area is continuing. Overall, the U.S. has deep inequalities in its socioeconomic structure and much work to do on gender equality. In our social life and well-being category, the U.S. scores 7 out of 10 points. Japan. Japan faces various challenges in its economic and social structure. Income inequality is a significant problem in the country, with a Gini coefficient of 0.33. This shows that economic resources are unfairly distributed and that low-income groups suffer more. Moreover, the relative poverty rate is high at 15%, indicating that a significant segment of the population has a low standard of living. Gender inequality in Japan is characterized by low female labor force participation rates. Women's participation in the labor force is very limited compared to men, which is another reflection of social inequalities. Increasing women's participation in the workplace and strengthening gender equality are essential for Japan's future social and economic development. In our social life and well-being category, Japan scores 9 out of 10 points. It looks like the scores are close in most of our categories, but the U.S. seems to be ahead. And when we look at the overall results, the U.S. has a total score of 85 and Japan has a total score of 81. And the winner, albeit by a very small margin, is the United States of America. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our video. See you in our next comparison.